You do it every single day. You open your laptop, you grab your phone, and poof, you're online. It just works, right? But have you ever actually stopped to think about the invisible gatekeeper that makes it all happen? Well, that's exactly what we're going to pull back the curtain on right now.
Seriously, think about it. When you connect to your Wi-Fi, you're essentially knocking on the internet's front door. So, who answers? Who's on the other side that checks to see if you're on the list and decides to let you in? It all happens in the blink of an eye, but it's one of the most critical moments in our digital lives.
The answer, of course, isn't a person. It's a hugely powerful system running on servers inside massive humming data centers just like this one. I mean, these are the places you never see, the physical heart of the internet, and they house the gatekeepers that manage access for millions of us all at once.
To really get our heads around this, we need to meet the internet's invisible doorman. Now, it's not some single piece of software. It's more like a framework, a set of ironclad rules that every major internet service provider, your ISP, relies on to manage their entire network. And that framework has a name, AAA. It stands for Authentication, Authorization, and Accounting. Just think of it as the ultimate digital doorman. Its whole job is to check your ID, decide what you have access to, and keep a tab on what you use.
So what do these three A's actually do? Let's break each one down. We'll stick with our doorman analogy, and you'll see exactly how this system controls your online experience from the very second you connect. First up, the first A, authentication. This one's the big one, the first step. Before you get anywhere, the system has to know for sure that you are who you say you are. It's the network's first and most important line of defense.
And at its heart, the idea is super simple. Authentication is basically your device flashing its ID at the network's door. That username and password you use, that's your ID. It's the proof that you're a paying customer who's allowed to come inside. And just like you have a driver's license and a passport, there are a bunch of different digital ways to prove who you are. Each of these is just a different, secure protocol for verifying your credentials. It shows how flexible the system is.
Okay, so your ID checks out, you're in. But now what? What are you actually allowed to do once you're inside? That's where the second A, authorization, comes into play. It determines your level of access.
Right, so our doorman isn't just looking at your ID anymore. Now, he's checking your ticket. Do you have a general admission pass? Or did you spring for the VIP section? Your internet plan is basically your ticket.
This is exactly where your internet service plan kicks in. If you're on a basic tier, the AAA server authorizes a certain speed. But if you're paying for that premium, high-speed plan, it knows to open up the fast lanes for you. And this is all managed automatically by the authorization process. And that brings us to the final A, accounting. So you're in, you're authorized to be there. But the system's job isn't done. It needs to keep track of what you're using. And this isn't about spying on you. It's all about managing the network's resources fairly.
So our doorman, it turns out, is also the manager, and he's keeping a detailed log. It's tracking how long you're connected and how much data you're downloading. This is what makes sure the whole system runs smoothly and that everyone gets billed correctly.
And this detailed tracking is absolutely essential. Yeah, it's for your bill, but it's also crucial for the ISP to plan for the future, to troubleshoot problems, and even to meet legal requirements for how they handle data. Now that we get what a AAA server does, let's talk about the mind-boggling scale it has to operate on. This isn't a doorman for some small club. This is a doorman for a whole city of millions, and they're all trying to get in at the same time.
First off, it can pretty much never fail. An ISP's A server has to have at least 99.9% availability. Why? Because if the doorman goes on break, nobody gets online. The whole network just grinds to a halt.
Next, it has to handle a massive crowd. A carrier-grade system like this is built to manage over 1 million simultaneous connections. That's 1 million people all trying to show their ID at the exact same moment. And it has to do it instantly. The response time for one of these checks has to be less than a single millisecond. Any slower, and you'd actually notice a delay every single time you tried to get online. It has to be seamless.
So how on earth do they pull that off? Well, these systems are designed to scale up. An ISP might start small with a single server, but as their business grows, they just add more servers to share the load. Eventually, they build a massive, interconnected cluster to guarantee that rock-solid reliability we're talking about.
So why does all this complex back-end tech really matter to you? Well, it's simple.
A well-run AA system directly translates into a better, faster, and much safer internet experience for all of us.
Think of these dashboards as the doorman's command center. The network administrators get this real-time, bird's-eye view of the entire network's health. They can spot problems and solve them, often before you even notice something's wrong.
And this is where the security really shines. Centralized management means your account is controlled from one secure place. The system has its own built-in shields against common cyber threats, and it works seamlessly with all the big-name network hardware to keep the whole operation locked down tight.
Look, the AAA framework has been the invisible engine powering our internet access for decades. But as more and more of our lives move online, our cars, our homes, you name it, the role of this digital gatekeeper is only going to get more important.
Which really leaves us with one final big question. At its heart, this whole system is about managing identity and access. So, as we continue to connect every part of our world to the internet, who should be the ultimate keeper of the keys to your digital self?